this is really important, and nobody ever talks about this shit. Pardon my French. To be helpful to people, you have to be honest. We're all deluded in our own little pathetic fashions, and you're all going like, "Oh, geez, what is he about to say?" Now, let's get to photography here. Photography is enormous. Okay, the guy that knows how to drive a $1 million sports car around the racetrack probably doesn't know jack crap about trucking. Probably doesn't even know how to shift gears properly on an incline, and vice versa. Okay, well, they're all vehicles. It's the same thing in photography. Photography is enormous. Let's be really deathly honest here, and nobody talks about this stuff. I mean, we all like to think the best of ourselves. I'm actually always, second guessing myself on a lot of stuff. Some stuff I know. But when it comes to photography, it is a huge spectrum of various different specialities. The guy that knows a crap load about macro is not the guy that's shooting, Olympic events. The person that is an expert on lighting ratios and building light mods and studio strobe, the spectrum is enormous. And I hear this crap all this like, I've been a photographer for 30 years and I'm a professional and I've made 100% of my income from photography. And I want to say it, but people think I'm rude. I'm not really that rude, but I'm thinking in my brain, what the hell does that have to do, jack crap, with anything about like macro photography or portraiture or lighting ratios? I mean, what were you doing? For the past 40 years of your life. Well, I was a portrait photographer. I did a 20-year stint in Sears. It's like, oh yeah, where they never moved the lights. Yeah, and then I worked as a photojournalist for the local newspaper. Well, that's good. I actually developed some pretty good skills, especially being really fast with lighting, being able to capture the motion. That's actually a really good arena of photography to be in because it really makes you think on your feet. Not always, and not in so many things, but it does urge you to be creative as far as getting the shots. Same is true of paparazzis, photojournalists, paparazzis. They're both. I'm going to insult somebody, but they're both basically the same flavor of photographer as far as technical skills necessary to learn how to do that craft. But I mean, macro, portraiture, studio photography, product photography. All these YouTubers, trying to impress you by shooting hookers. I mean models, And I'm not referring to anybody specifically. Certainly not somebody specifically, because you and I both know a lot of people do that. I mean, is that really impressing you? Look, I got Brandy and Candy and Dusty and Sierra. Yeah, girl. Someone on the other end of this video is going, damn, boy, you got the boobs for that, too. It's like, thanks so much. I knew that insult was coming. I could read your damn mind. Are they really impressing you that they, can make an accurate recommendation? I was having a talk with a famous YouTube photography entity. I'm not going to tell you who it was. We were talking on the phone. We were rapping. And and we were talking about this fact and what some people are trying to do as far as impress you with certain things. And we're got into specifically about like back when I was in photography school, he brought it up first, and then I brought it up. He said, I met some of, the dumbest people with the least technical skills, not dumb as in really dumb, are like some of these world-famous photographers. I mean, they maybe have only owned 6 lenses in their life, and they don't know jack shit about lenses. I can assure you firsthand that that is true. That doesn't apply to all of them, but it sure does to most of them. An accurate generalization by default, when it comes to logical fallacies, is not a fallacy. It is actually an accurate point. It's kind of like saying if you got a hot chick that's wearing a mini skirt that barely covers her ass crack, and you send her into downtown Miami or something, she's in danger. I mean, that's a generalization, but it's still an accurate generalization, right? Back in photography school, many of these world-famous photographers, their artwork was just like, damn, shit, they got the eye. People would say, what lens do you use, what camera? Like, I only owned a couple cameras, and one of them I remember, and I can't remember his name, One of his lenses looked like it had been run over like 4 or 5 times. That was his main working lens. And he would always pick up his camera and he would show something he did in one of the classes. He would talk about the way he was taking pictures at some place. And then when he put his camera down, he wouldn't actually set it down. He'd actually kind of get it close and then let it drop. It's like, that's why that dude's lens looks like shit. He'd get it close and he'd let it drop and it kind of flop around a little bit like a fish on dry land, you know, from bouncing. It's like, yeah, that guy is world famous photographer. You know, he throws his camera around. I mean, does he know he can decenter the elements? What does he give a shit? You know, if he breaks the lens, you buy another one, right? They don't know how to clean a sensor. Back then, we didn't have sensors. We had film, girlfriend. So, but a lot of these people, they don't even know how the hell to clean their own damn camera sensor. It's like, what? So-and-so world-famous photographer doesn't know how to clean his own goddamn sensor? It's like, yeah, I can assure you that's the case. That's not conjecture on my part. I know a couple of them that are exactly like... there is even a world-famous photographer that's even got his own YouTube channel. And he made a video, and it is so abysmal. This guy's a real photographer. I mean, he's got some hardcore skills. Hardcore. You know, his photography is unquestionable. He was trying to show people how he cleaned his sensor, and the whole time I was watching the video, I was going, oh my god, this guy's a famous photographer, and people are going to take his advice. You're like, you know, he's got really good skills as a photographer, but people are going to go, well, you know, he knows how to take a good picture, make a good picture. So he must know how to clean his sensor. It's so bad, I can't tell you who it is. It's bad. It's really bad. And recently, there's somebody else. I can't tell you who. I don't want to give away who it is. He's a famous videographer. He's done some world-famous work. I can't be specific because then you'll know who the hell he is. And I don't want to insult him. And he's won all these awards. And but the stuff that he does is like on-location stuff. He's not used to shooting, you know, indoor. What he did indoors was a faux pas so bad that, like, if I were back in photography school, my teacher would have just come short of spanking my ass if I did something that stupid. This guy's world class. He makes, I can't tell you specifically, but he's well acclaimed as a photographer. But he stepped outside of his skill set to do another type of photography, and he got the lighting right. But he made a mistake that's just so absolutely novice and amateurish that you just look at it. You know, any portrait photographer would look at it and go, ooh, damn, that's bad. The point is that photography is absolutely enormous. And to be helpful, you have to be honest with people. And, you know, you don't pull stuff out of your butt that's, no. Something else some people caught on to on another, people pointed it to me. And somebody said, they're talking like they were a certain type of photographer. And me and everybody else knows that this person does not do this type of photography. Never, never. They don't do it. No one has ever seen a single picture of this type of photography from that person. And he's talking about something as if he's that sort of... He's like, you know, give it a breast. Well, yeah, you know. Photography is huge. I don't care if you live to be 150 years old. You don't have a wife. You don't have a kid. And you're just doing photography all the time. Photography is such a huge spectrum that you're never going to get into the nitty-gritty of every little nook and cranny of photography. You're just not. You know, if you find somebody that's like a grand guru of macro photography, and there's some of them out there, it's like if I am looking for interesting tips and info, I will go to the grand guru of that specialty. There might be one guy, and there are some of them out there. That's all they do is take pictures of little freaking bugs, you know? Bugs and little creepy shit crawling up the side of a tree, and they are great at it. And then they've got some great tips, some great little DIY stuff. I've already got like 10 times more DIY photography mods than everybody else combined. I mean, I'm really great at DIY stuff. Lighting ratios, and believe it or not, I don't know how to use these damn studio strobes. I am burned out a lot on photography, people photography especially. I got burned out on people photography. I hate to say it, but at least I'm being honest, for Christ's sakes. I got burned out on it a long time ago. It's not to say I don't enjoy doing it, but the whole lip flapping, you know, I'll do this package for you. Yeah, well, you make me this print, and you do a print. It's like, well, you know, I'd like that reprint. It's like, oh, you know, kiss me, you know. I can't say. My stress, you know, my PTSD and my stress level is not very, is not very equipped to handle that anymore. Let's put it that way. Hey, I'm being honest about it, for Christ's sakes. So realize that, all these people out there that think that it's like, I'm a master action photographer, and I'm also great at portraiture. And that is true of some people. They might have specialized 2 or 3 categories of photography, but these people that like, I'm the, just because I'm an expert at bug photography doesn't mean that person knows how to hell to do portrait photography. They can make an intelligent, logical, helpful recommendation on studio strobes and light meters. And some of these people I've heard on YouTube, they've got 500,000 subscribers, and one person said that light meters were like a throwback technology, like some old fart with like false teeth is using a light meter. That stuff burns my asshole. It just burns me, because that is not only palpably incorrect, it is existentially and objectively just pure BS. We step outside of our own circle and we start to make statements about crap that we don't really know about. And we all do that. Let's be honest, for God's sakes, we all do that to some degree. But I have to be cognizant about it that, to be helpful, you have to be honest and logical, and if you don't know the answer, you go seeking the answer to be helpful to somebody. There are some jack-of-all-trade photographers, like they've done, action, photojournalistic work, and they've done portrait photography, and they've done some wildlife stuff, so they're really good, but they may not know gear, so it's really an enormous field, and, I specialize in certain things, and I'm really good at making broad spectrum, helpful recommendations on a lot of stuff. I mean, God knows I've, owned and tested more lenses than God. Yeah, I know that's hyperbole. Deal with it. Hyperbolic statement is still accurate if you generally understand what the statement is being meant to imply by connotation rather than denotation. What does that mean? Get a dictionary. So, the point is to be helpful, alright? Not to blow smoke up somebody's ass. You're like, yeah, please click the subscribe button, please like me. Screw that too. Be helpful, People will realize that it's helpful and useful. And if they don't, they'll quickly call you out on it. It's like, I did this and it totally doesn't work like you say. And I'm glad to have been so helpful, Not everything is about making money, for God's sakes. I mean, I'm killing myself answering emails and comments. There's just so many of them. But I try to do the best that I can, and it's like a 24-hour job. I mean, trust me. No one would want to see me for 24 hours, but if they could see me over a 24-hour period of time, they would actually see, the comments and the emails are rather enormous. But anyway, to be helpful, we have to be honest, and we have to be honest with ourselves. So, and photography is absolutely huge, It's not like hairdressing or something like that. It's like someone's a master with hair. It's like, they could do anything. It's not that big of a spectrum. Photography is enormous. And knowing all the gear and knowing all these little freaky tips and tricks and the DIY light mods and stuff, I mean, I've been doing that for years. But, just be as helpful as you can. I guess this video is more declarative rather than educational, but I guess it can be declarative and educational at the same time, can it? It's kind of free-form thought. Usually free-form thought videos, every time I make a video that I think is going to bomb, it's like, ooh, no, that was like a free-form thought video, like, ooh, and then everybody really likes it, and then I'll make a video, it's like, man, this video is really helpful that I just made. This is like an awesome video. I just showed somebody a really awesome light mod, and like, people are like, nobody likes the video, so I don't make videos with the thought of like, I'm going to make a video and everybody's going to love it. Every time I make a prediction on something I think, this is really helpful, it like turns out to be the opposite's the case, so we'll see where this one goes. Bye. Bum, 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 bum.